Restart. Carl Edwards a little slow on the gas. The field stacked up a little bit, but stayed in line.
Yeah, it's really easy here late in the race. You're excited. You want to get going. Easy to spin the tires, and when you do, closes everybody right up on your back bumper.
Look at the run. Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car got off turn 2. He knows he better reel in Carl Edwards in a hurry, try to get this lead back.
It's go time for Johnson, and he completes the pass for the 26th lead change of the day.
I think Jimmy Johnson is one of those kind of drivers. You just don't know how good he is until it counts.
See Greg Biffle, though, Carl Edwards' teammate in the 16 car, pulling up in there, as well as Brian Vickers in that 25 car. Most of his positions gained has been on pit road. We've been talking about it all year long. Roush versus Hendrick right there in the top 5.
2 Hendrick Chevrolets, 3 Roush Fords. Then it's the Childress Chevy of Dave Blaney and the Evernham Dodge of Casey Kane. Michael Waltrip up into the top 10 along with Riggs and McMurray.
Michael's had a really good day. Been up in top 10 just about all day long. That's good turnaround for that bunch.
Let's hear what Carl Edwards and crew had to say about this, what could be final run.
Don't spin your tires on the restart, man. If you do, don't worry about it. Coming inside, big picture still. Just don't worry about it.
It's his spotter, Bobby Hudson, up there being that cheerleader that he needs to be for that young man.
See, they've got the driver. They know that. They just got to keep him tempered back a little bit because it's big picture. Championship. He's in the championship hunt right now, and they want him to stay there.
If that's the Bobby Hudson I remember, he's got 30 years in this sport as a mechanic and as a crew chief and up on the roof. So a lot of experience helping the rookie, Carl Edwards.
And Mike, you talked about it a while ago after the last restart. Right then, our top 4 just ran their fastest laps of this race, 29.50. That's down there where a lot of these guys qualified for the race on Friday.
Michael Waltrip battling with a couple of lap cars, including Mike Bliss, who right now is the first car 1 lap down and 18th in the 0.
And I know we have a lot of racing going all over the racetrack, but this team, they're very solid, but they're racing with heavy hearts because Dave Skog, one-time car chief for this team, he had moved to quality control manager. His wife, Angie, finally lost her battle with cancer yesterday. Angie, Ricky Rudd's personal assistant, as well as Richard Broom's daughter. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Skog and the Broom family.
Man, boy, Michael almost, he slid right up in front of the 42. That was close.
Elliott Sadler, though, in that 38 car, he's been lurking back there trying to get back to the top 10. The yellow car, he's back in 11th position, pulls right up on the back bumper of Jamie McMurray's 42 car.
That 38 car would be a car that would drive me crazy. Because one minute it's running up front and running great, and the next minute it's going back through the field like something's broken on it.
Right behind that 0 car is another car having a pretty decent run, moved into the top 20. Scott Wimmer in that Caterpillar 22 car. He's back running 19th, battling Mike Bliss in the 0.
20 laps to go in Atlanta. And what had been a strung-out battle but for the front spot with Jimmy Johnson and Greg Biffle has now become a dogfight.
Oh, yeah, this is when the crew chief and the spotter saying, don't let them get away. You're racing this guy. You're racing that guy. No more give. All take.
We're into the countdown laps now. 19 to go. Jimmy Johnson holding Carl Edwards by 0.4 of a second.
How about that Roush team versus the Hendrick team when they're bunched up near the top, Jeff Hammond?
Well, you think about teamwork, but I don't think you're going to have much help today because it's pretty much every man for himself. This racetrack, the way it is, has a lot to do with how your car works, whether working on the bottom or working on the top. And right now, Jimmy Johnson is just doing all he can to stay out in front of Carl Edwards. And I mean, it's going to be one whale of a finish. And the other thing interesting is, can Chevrolet control this racetrack for one more race? I mean, there's 2 Fords behind him, and they're putting a lot of pressure on him right now.
Jimmy's staying with a good thing, the same chassis on this car that he won with at Atlanta last fall and that he won at Lowe's Motor Speedway with last year in both races. Mike?
16 laps to go, Chris, and these 3 are driving off into a different zip code. Brian Vickers is 3 seconds back. Mark Martin, 3.5. Dave Blaney has moved into 6th, 5.5 seconds off the lead, ahead of Casey Kane and Michael Waltrip and Scott Riggs and McMurray, who continue to battle.
Tell you what, we saw Carl Edwards yesterday in a very similar situation and got a late caution, and he made a huge move past 4 cars at once to end up winning that race. So I know he's hoping maybe he gets one more shot at him here on a reset.
No driver has ever won the Atlanta Busch race and Cup race in the same weekend yet.
In the irony, this was 2 of the best cars in the Busch race yesterday, and here's Elliott Sadler finally making a move in the 38 car on Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. This is that battle for 10th position.
Well, you have to give it to Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus. Week in and week out, they're not just finishing races, they are winning every week.
And just remember, on Tuesday, we will get the verdict whether Chad Knaus will be able to be with this race team for the next 2 races, which is 2 short tracks, Bristol and Martinsville.
All right, their car winning last week, but the height found to be out of adjustment by about 1/8 of an inch beyond tolerance, out of spec. And that appeal will be here Tuesday, and of course we'll fill you in next weekend.
You know what I do? I take every car after a race and run it through there and get a measurement on every one of them. I take an average, and if you were within the average, you're okay.
Tell you what, Carl,
every car, not just 5.
In the 99, he keeps looking to the low side, but the Johnson in the 48, he just gets that good run, keeps that momentum up off the corner.
And they have left Greg Biffle. Biffle is now 1.4 seconds back as Mark Martin takes 4th place from the past Busch champion, Brian Vickers.
You know, I worried about Biffle. They just didn't seem to be making enough changes on his car to really keep up with the change in track conditions. They were very content to leave the car alone. I know that's not a bad thing, but I think that gets you behind maybe at the end of the day.
And this is a battle right here for the 16th position. Tony Stewart in the 20 in the orange car, Sterling Marlin in the 40. Remember, Sterling got the free pass not that many laps ago. Everybody's racing side by side because they know there's only 12 laps to go.
Tell you the guy that's really just hanging tough, Carl Edwards in that 99 car, boys. He is just right there.
And he's closing, Darrell.
And it's just like yesterday when Jimmy Johnson sat there and watched him, hoping he'd make a mistake. The roles are reversed today.
Carl's mom looking on, Nancy. She has been his biggest fan through his young racing career.
Like all moms and dads, made huge sacrifices to get that kid here financially. Did everything they hawked the farm to get him here.
But you know what, guys? I think about this 99 team. Go back a year ago. They didn't know how long they were going to be racing. Without a sponsor, there was dissension between the race team. They didn't know what was going to happen. And here they are, boy. He got loose off turn 2. He's digging in the barrel all he can dig right now.
The reason he got loose off of turn 2 is because he came off of there. I mean, he closed the gap on Jimmy Johnson a lot off of just turn 2 that time.
Gathered it back up, Darrell, and he did not lose a lot of ground. Let's see that again.
He's up high here, and there's that black streak over there that you hit occasionally, and it'll step that back end out. And buddy, at 185 miles an hour, that'll get your attention.
But you're right, Mike. He did not lose that many positions, but you see it right here up on the high side in the throttle. Knows if he backs out, he's going to lose a lot of position.
But what happens on these tires this year? A slide job like that could take you right out of the hunt.
So he's going to have to sit and cool his tires, Darrell, but will it give him another shot?
And now you see Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy's looking around trying to find a little bit different place to run. And yeah, he'll have to cool his jets for a lap or 2.
Here's Steve.
Mike, Darrell, that's exactly what Carl Edwards just said. He said, I'm going to build up a little more momentum, make another run, and give it everything I've got.
Steve, meanwhile, his teammate Greg Biffle in the 16 car, he's drawing him back in up there in the 3rd position.
I think Carl is overdriving his car a little bit right at this point. Just looking at him coming off at turn 2. I know that doesn't seem possible, but I think that's what's happening.
Smoke and trouble for Bobby Labonte. He slows on the back straightaway. He was involved in that lap 1 crash, has soldiered around and made laps. He's 52 off the pace, and now drops down to the apron.
And
but
Jimmy
no
Johnson's
caution.
car is doing what there's Bobby right there headed to the pits. But Jimmy Johnson's car is doing what it does week in and week out. Gets better at the end of the runs.
See Jack Roush talking up there. That's Bob Osborne. He's putting his hand around saying, look, guys, no matter what the outcome, you guys are doing great.